All right, let's get started because I know everybody's busy, and we're going to give a hard stop at 9:15, maybe maximum. I'll go to 9:20. I'm going to share the screen for the booklet. Everybody say, thank you, Rabbi Tawil. All right, I guess not. No problem. Good, we got a tough crowd. Okay, here we go. All right, there you go. Hey, Mark, what's going on, Mark? Welcome. How you doing? Okay, so let's everybody just give me a thumbs up now if you can see the shared screen. If you guys can see what's going on. Okay, very nice. We're going to go halakha to halakha, and I'll make sure that everybody knows and understands it. Guess what? Also, I'm making the test for this. Yeah, buddy. Free answers for you guys. When I say hint, hint, that means you know this is going to be a question. Okay. Let's see. We are going to begin now. Okay. So anybody, if you have the booklet, this is what we need to do. We have to understand that this is Limud Torah, right? So when we have our Limud Torah, we always have to be invested. So right now, everybody's going to pay attention, and we're not studying for the test. We're pretending that there's no test. We're learning to know, okay? We're learning to know, and that's what the pursuit of halakha is and is all about. We learn to know, but why do we learn to know? We learn to know al menat la'asot, in order to do. So the purpose of this class is to get you guys to do something. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to have the halakha on the board, right, or on the in the shared screen. I'm going to read. I also have the annotating pencil right here. I'm going to highlight some key words that you might need to know, and then we'll summarize each halakha. So what we need to do is you're going to take notes on the side of the booklet if you printed it out, or you could just do a separate booklet and write, okay, laws of Netilat Yadayim for the Seudah. Se'if Aleph, right, which most of you will learn. What is a se'if? It's a law, right? It's a law that we're having. In Shulchan Aruch, it's se'ifim and simanim and chapters. Some people in Yalkut Yosef, which again we'll learn, and most of you are exposed to already. Some people say it's Perek Shelishi Ot Aleph. They say it's a letter. But either way, for our intents and purposes, we'll just call it a se'if so that we don't have different language. Okay, so let's see. Good, as everybody's, again, I'm just stalling also because a lot of people are filing in. So, and then if you have a question, you'll raise your virtual hand, and we'll get going. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Let's start. Again, one more time, virtual hello, a virtual thumbs up if everybody can see the booklet. Okay, very nice, very nice. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm putting you guys on the side, and I'm ready to read. So here we go. Okay, the topic that we're talking about is Dinei Netilat Yadayim l'Seudah. That means washing your hands for a meal. Washing your hands for a meal is different than washing your hands when you wake up in the morning. For our purposes, what is it? Instead of, everybody look at the screen, everybody look at me. Instead of serugin, which means alternating, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. For a seudah, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to learn why, but we're just going to start with that. I'm about to summarize halakha aleph. Please, everybody, look and pay attention. Mitzvah medivre sofrim litol et hayadayim kodem seudah she'ochel ba pat. What's pat? We have a lot of wise guys in here. It's nothing you can smoke. Pat is bread.
Bread.
Pat is bread. Thank you, Ronnie. You're a beast. Very nice. Okay, so pat is bread. Okay, pat is bread. Rena got the assist too. She knew it, that it was bread. I'm sure other people knew it. So it is, the first thing you're going to put is number 1. The first law that we're learning is Netilat Yadayim is derabanan. Divrei Sofri means it's from the rabbis. That's gonna be important because if something is from the Torah, it has a tremendous importance. Also, the Rabbanan has tremendous importance. Don't get us wrong, but the point is that it's only a Derabanan. It's a rabbinic command.
So what is Halacha Aleph?
That was Jacob, I'm assuming. So Halacha Aleph, I'm saying number one, Halacha, each Seif Aleph is going to have multiple parts. So part one, the first thing that I just want you to say is that everybody realizes that Netilat Yadayim is Dirabanan. Okay? Hint, hint. I could ask you in a multiple choice question. The mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim is A, Deoraita, B, a Midrash, which makes no sense, C, Dirabanan, D, none of the above. Jacob Shalom, what's going to be the answer?
Rabbanan.
C, Dirabanan. Very good. So you just need to know that. Next. U'mitzvah lishmoa divrei chachamim. It's a mitzvah to listen to the words of the rabbis. Ve'iskimu zot al hapasuk v'hitkadashtem v'hiyitem kedoshim. We will make you holy, and you should be holy. V'hitkadashtem elu mayim rishonim. So the next thing that you want to put is the source from the Torah for Netilat Yadayim that the rabbis based it on. Where the rabbis get it from? So number two is, right, law number two in Seif Aleph, within law number one, or this paragraph number one, is the pasuk where we get Netilat Yadayim from. The pasuk is found, and I'll circle it here. It's Vayikra, chapter 20, verse 7, Perek Kaf, pasuk Zayin. Now, I'm not going to be a jerk and ask you, give me the chapter and give me the pasuk, but I am going to ask you, V'hitkadashtem v'hiyitem kedoshim. You shall make yourself holy, and then you will be holy. These three words you should write down as number two, as the source of Netilat Yadayim from the Torah. Even though it's from the rabbis, it's the Rabbanan. Where did the rabbis get it from? That's how you'll phrase number two. The rabbis got it from this pasuk, Vayikra Kaf, pasuk Zayin. And what words? V'hit kadashtem. You should make yourself kadosh. V'hitem kedoshim, and then you will be kadoshim. It's talking about the Kohanim rinsing their hands. So therefore, we rinse our hands and wash them off as well. Okay? That's halacha number two. And now halacha number three. And this, by the way, this is a life lesson for all mitzvot that are derabanan, that I'm about to read, and then we'll summarize, and then we'll make sure that everybody is on the same page before we move on to the next one. Even though the mitzvah is only from the rabbis, you should make the blessing on this netilah before you dry. Don't write that, we'll get to that later. So, what does it mean? Asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu. Let's get a brave volunteer. Does anybody want to interpret the words Asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu?
It's referring to how Hashem made us holier when He commanded us with mitzvot.
Okay, great. Can you go? Who's talking? I just can't see. Who was
Ronnie?
that? Ronnie. Beauty, Ronnie. Ronnie, go word for word. What is
Asher? That
you right?
Kedeshanu sanctified us.
Right.
Mitzvotav with His commandments. Vetzivanu and commanded us
to do Netilat Yadayim. So what's the problem here? Based on what we just...
It's midrabanan.
Right, exactly. How could we say, everybody understand the question? How can we say, and Ronnie Hazaku Baruch, very good job, and how can we say the words, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu, that you sanctified us and you commanded us to do when He didn't command us. Hashem did not command. If you look in the Torah and say, where's the command for Netilat Yadayim, you will not find it. It was talking about something with the Kohanim. However, what we learn is very important. The fact that the rabbis had license to be able to look in the Torah says, and listen to everything the rabbis told you. When the rabbis tell you that something is from the Torah, you can say Asher Kiddishanu. So let's give some examples. How many of you guys say Hallel whenever you have to? Asher Kiddishanu Mitzvotav Etzivanu Ligmor et Hallel. The rabbi, it's not in the Torah. The rabbis commanded us to do it. but still it's Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav. Lighting Hanukkah candles, same thing. And doing Netilat Yadayim, same thing. I'm going to unmute Morris Escava. Looks like he has a question. Morris, kavod.
No, I didn't have a question.
Oh, so why'd that little dot pop up?
Maybe it was an accident. I don't know.
Okay, sure, no problem. All right, no problem, Morris. You got
Sorry.
it. Okay, so number 3 is all you're going to write for number 3, right? All you're going to write for number 3 is we have the right to say Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu, to say that God sanctified us with his mitzvot, even on a derabanan, a rabbinic decree, because Hashem told the rabbis in the Torah to look through it and give us the correct guidance and the correct laws. So since Hashem commanded the rabbis, whatever the rabbis command us to do, we can do Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu.
Wait, Rabbi.
Okay, yeah, let that say. Just who's talking, because I got to go to gallery mode.
Mark.
Who's talking? Say it again.
Mark.
Mark, yeah, okay, Mark. So yeah, if you have a question, kavod, what's up?
So we have the right to say those words because even on the Rabbanan, because Hashem told the rabbis to look through the Torah and find it.
Correct. Meaning they gave. I'm saying it in a very simple way.
Yeah.
But the way that it means is that the rabbi said, "Al pi kol asher yorucha." We're not. It's not on the page now. This is something that I'm telling you. Al pi kol asher yorucha. It means that Hashem gave the Torah to be listened to by whatever the rabbis say. So that's in the Torah. That line of you must listen to the rabbis and your masters and your teachers is in the Torah. So once the rabbis tell you that this is what the Torah meant, even though it doesn't say it 100% black on white in the Torah, once the rabbis tell you that that's what the Torah says, it's like it's in the Torah. So that's why you have to say, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. You sanctified us, Hashem, and you commanded us. Rabbi, but the rabbis commanded us to. Right, but Hashem commanded the rabbis to do that.
So can you repeat what you said for part 3 of Halakhot?
Yeah, I'll do it one more time. This is Jacob asking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one more time. You'll do as follows. You'll say, let me do this. No. Okay. The question that I would want to ask is, how is it possible, right, Jacob? You could ask it in question form. How are we allowed, better to say Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu, that Hashem commanded us to do this mitzvah, when the mitzvah is really from the rabbis and not from the Torah? What's the answer, Jacob?
Well, God technically told them to get, but God gave them the right to sanctify it.
Exactly. Excellent. That was very well said. And Ralph Levy, anything to add? Looks like you wanted to answer the question. Ralph? No? Okay. Fine. What's up, Ralph? Okay. All right. So that's Ralph. Who's that? Yeah, no. What's his name?
Hi, my name is Bobby Levy.
Oh, Bobby. All right, good. Nice. All right, so Bobby, you wanted to add something or you got it?
I got it.
Okay, guys, can we move on? Next law? Okay, we're going to the next law. Got anybody else have a question or are we good? Okay, we looking good. We're moving on to bet. Ready? Here we go. Bet. I'm drawing the arrows so you could follow along. I'm circling bet. So all that, even though there was Halakhot 1, 2, and 3, those are Halakhot 1, 2, and 3 underneath the Aleph. All right? Good. So now bet. Af mi she'en yadav meluchlachot. What does meluchlach mean? Anybody know what meluchlach means?
Dirty.
Dirty. Very nice. Good. Right? So we have, right, meluchlachot means filled with dirt or dirty. I'm trying to write with my mouse, not working out, but it's as good as I can. Af mi she'en yadav meluchlachot. Even if your hands are not dirty, right, they're not dirty. Ve'eno yodea lahem shum tum'ah. There's no tum'ah on it. Eno rashai le'echol ad she'ito yadav. So what that means is that really you should write two things on number 2. What's the reason for question one? What's the reason why we wash netilah before we eat? There's one reason. We only do it for cleanliness purposes, to be clean. That's it. So if I ask you on the test, hint, hint, the reason for netilat yadayim in a meal is because of A, removing tum'ah, B, yadayim askaniyot, C, cleanliness purposes, D, so that the demons won't get you. What's the answer?
Cleanliness purposes.
Thanks. You guys have nominated Ronnie as the class speaker. No problem. Right? So that you get rid of cleanliness. Okay? You get rid, sorry, that your hands will be clean. Okay? Now, what is so you're writing two things for halacha bet. Okay? You're writing two things for halacha bet. The first thing that you're writing is you're going to say that number one, the reason, right? One is the reason for netilat yadayim is so that your hands are clean. That's number one. Now, point number two, which is the main point that the halacha wants to bring. Let's say my hands are clean already. What if my hands are clean? I just went to the bathroom and before I sat down to eat my sandwich, and I just soaked my hands. You still need to have netilat yadayim, but in that case, as we'll see later on, you're doing it with no beracha. Neti stands for netilat yadayim. Nun tet yod. Okay? Still wash with netilat yadayim. Okay? If, again, that's what number two is saying. If your hands are already clean, I still need netilat yadayim, but just without a beracha. Okay, and that's it for number two. We can move on to number three. Does anybody have questions on number two? Anybody have questions?
So if your hands are clean, you just still wash without a beracha?
Correct. Is that Mark? I can't see.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Anybody else? Good? We good? We can move on? Give me some virtual thumbs up. Okay. There you go. Thank you, Camille. Nice. Mazal, Julie. All right. Fia, good. Celia, Molly, nice. Okay. All right. Eddie Sutton, we good? Okay, good. Okay, so here we go. All right. We're up to number three. Okay, ready? I'm going to do a little erasing. There you go. My handwriting is not great anyway. Okay, we are ready. Okay, now I'm scrolling to number three. All right, who's writing on the side? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Dibs. All right, here we go. We are up to Gimal. Okay? Gimal says the following. Gam hanashim hayavot b'netilat yadayim. Right? Girls try to get away with everything. And they say, oh, I'm a woman. No, we love the women more than the men. Gam hanashim hayavot b'netilat yadayim. Okay? This means that, I'm circling the Gimal because that's where we're up to. Okay, now halacha number one. Women also have to wash netilat yadayim. Women have the same obligation as men. The reason, it's such an odd halacha. Why would I have to put that halacha in? We put that halacha in because it sounds like a positive commandment that is based on time. But that's not true. And we know that positive commandments that are based on time, women don't have to do. But anytime anytime is a good time for netilat yadayim because any time is a good time for eating. So don't think that women don't have to make netilat yadayim. Women must make netilat yadayim. Okay? Good. And then part two just means the second halacha in Gimal is that you need to train the people in your household to make netilat yadayim. Okay, so halacha number one is women are obligated in netilat yadayim. And number two is that you must train everyone in your household to say netilat yadayim. Good? Guys? Okay, we need to train. Okay, so we need to train everybody. So I'll read it inside. Ken sarich kol adam liyot baki. Baki means an expert in Halakhot Netilat Yadayim. וללמד את בני ביתו דיני נטילת ידיים, and you have to teach the people in your household all the laws of נטילת ידיים. וישגיח, and you should be over them, watch over them, שיטלו ידיהם כהלכה, that everyone's doing נטילת ידיים in the right way. וכן יחנך את בניו ובנותיו הקטנים לנטילה בברכה. You need to make sure that you train all of the little kids in your house to make sure to say נטילת ידיים with a beracha. Okay, we'll take questions now. Let's go to Ezra Cohen. Ezra Cohen has a question. Ezra, what do you got?
Who has to train the family, the mother or the father?
Great question. Excellent. Anybody? Really, the mitzvah of training goes on both parents, but both parents. We'll say both parents, and even older siblings can help as well. The only mitzvah where training falls solely on the father is to learn Torah. Okay, because the fathers, men, are the only ones with an obligation, strict obligation to learn Torah. We love that women learn Torah because they need to know the laws that apply to them. But men have to learn Torah night and day. And the reason why they have to learn is because they're the ones that are responsible to teach Torah, the actual Torah. Here, when it comes to a specific halacha, it of course falls on the father, but the mother can also do it as well. Ezra, does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. Good question. Anybody else with a question? I see Marilyn Hedaya. She's reminiscing about our class. She's missing our class already.
Rabbi Ikey, I miss you.
I know. I miss you guys too. But don't worry, we'll be reunited one of these days. 2022. Don't right, Kata? 2022, right? That's when we'll be reunited. No, I'm joking, Kat.
No, I think we're okay. Fine.
I know, Kat. You're optimistic. Love you. Okay, good.
Yep.
All right.
Rabbi Ikey, I joined late because it wasn't working, but now I'm on.
It wasn't working. Everybody got on. We got almost 30 people here. Everybody got on.
My cousin's on the phone with me. She can't get on.
Why not? Just type in my name to the Zoom. That's it. Rabbi Ikey Tawil, 2 eyes. Okay. All right, let's continue. So Ezra, good question. Let's keep going. Okay? All right, good. Here we go. Okay. Let's go to, now we are up to Dalid. Okay. Dalid. Okay, Dalid is a little complicated. Ready? But so there's 2 things that I want you guys to understand here, right? This one is going to definitely be a question that I'm going to trip you up on the quiz, on the test, but you have to know it as well, okay? There's 2 pieces of background information that you guys have to know before we do this, okay? Before we do this. Is everybody giving me a thumbs up? Everybody giving me a thumbs up? Nice Hermione, Kata. I like that. That's very cool. Okay. What are we doing? So here we go. There are certain measurements that a person needs to understand when eating, when it comes to food. Ready? We have 2 major measurements. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop the screen share for a second, and I'm actually going to do this. Everybody should say thank you, Rabbi Tawil, because I'm going to type it in the chat. Ready? I'm going to say hi to everybody. Everybody tell me if you can see the chat. We good? Okay, good. All right, we see it. Ready? So here are the measurements. Okay. Mark, don't answer me because now I'm typing to you privately. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. All right. Kata, you on mute because I need to get everybody on mute for now. Okay. Here we go. So now there are 2 measurements. Ready? One is called a kezayit. You have definitely heard of this, right? Kezayit literally means an olive. Okay? The measurement of a kezayit comes out to 27 grams. Okay? I just put that in the chat for you to copy. Can you guys see that? Good. Thumbs up. Joyce is remembering our class also. So is Molly. So is Celia. It just doesn't get any clearer than Rabbi Tawil's class. That's all we have to say. Hopefully I'll have a lot of freshies. Inshallah. Okay.
I'm reminiscing our class even though it was like a year or 2 ago.
I know, Kat, but at least I get to see you every day. So I'm lucky.
Sure.
Okay, so here we go. Kizayit is an olive, 27 grams. The next measurement that you need to know is besa. And that's right. How do we say, what's a sadi? Not sadik, right? There's no letter sadik, right? Sadik, I, kufresh. No, it's sadi. Sadi, besa. Okay? So like, how do you guys say it? Besa. Anybody want to try to say it? I'm going to bang up Mark Shallon. Mark, you want to say besa? Let's give it a try.
Besa.
Besa. There we go. You're in Magan already. Here we go. Next, you have besa. Besa means an egg. Okay? Guys, what's bigger, an olive or an egg?
An egg, duh.
An egg. There we go. Good job, Kat. Besa is double a kezayit. 2 kezetot equal 1 betza. What's 27 times 2? 54. Okay? So you have a kezayit and you have a besa. Okay? Why is this important to know? Because it's important to know because this is going to connect. How many of you guys, again, virtual hands only, how many of you guys have heard the law where they're like, oh, you're having pizza? Oh, 1 slice is mizonot, but 2 slices is hamotzi. Where do you get that from? So we're going to see that it has to do with this betza kezayit thing, just so that you should know. I don't agree with that halacha. I wash even for 1 slice of pizza. Don't be lazy. I see all of you guys being lazy. You know what the move is? I saw some people who say they have 1 slice of pizza. They say mezonot, they say ala mechia, and then they go back for the second slice. Oh, I'm having 1 slice again. There you go. They say mezonot and ala mechia again, right? Moves. No, that means you're going to Gehinam for trying to check the system, trying to sketch the system. We don't do that, okay?
I miss our class. I came. Now everything
We don't do that, okay?
back.
We don't do that, right? That's how you get Gehinam, okay? When you try to scam Hashem. Raise your hand if you're against scamming Hashem and you love Hashem. Everybody should be raising their hands. That's right, Eddie Sign. There we go.
Yaakov Yosef says it's 29 grams and 52 grams.
I know, but I think it's a little too high. That's why I'm going to go with 27 and 54. All right? Is that good, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll accept the other answer as well if that's what they write in the Yalkut Yosef. All right? But let's just go double check that one. I believe you, Ronnie. I just don't believe you. So 1 second. Let's just go here. Okay. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go back. So now, having known this halacha already, there are 3 things that we're going to have to fill in. Okay? Believe it or not, Netilat Yadayim changes when you either A, eat less than a kezayit, B, exactly a kezayit, and C, eating a kabetza. Okay? So what does that mean? I basically need to know how much I'm going to eat before I go and I do my Netilat Yadayim. So if a person knows that they're not going to eat a lot, I'll give you an example. Let's say a person knows that they're only going to have, let's say, half of a pita bread. You know, like those annoying people, like, oh, I'm just going to have like a little, they break off like a tip of the Oreo. Stupid, right? Have the Oreo. I don't understand. Have the Oreo. Sarten. Okay? We have this, if somebody is going to eat a very little tiny piece or just have a little bit of bread, someone's just going to eat the crust of the pizza, okay? You still have to say hamotzi, you still have to wash, but the question is, do you say it with a beracha or not? It may not be enough. If you're not eating enough bread and you know this in advance, then you're not going to be able to, you're not supposed to say the beracha. All this is introductory, right? Is what I'm saying making sense? I will go over it again. Who needs me to go over it again? Who feels confused? Let's go to Eddie, but let's go, Eddie, just tell me where I lost you so that I can focus.
Could you just say it again?
I will just say it again. Let's just, okay. So what's happening now is I gave you the two measurements. Eddie, do you see the kizayit and the betzah? Just give me a thumbs up. Do you see it in the chat? Good. So what we're going to read now is that the halakha of whether or not to say Netilat Yadayim with a blessing is going to depend on how much bread you're going to eat. That's basically what it means. So I'll give you an example. Some people try to watch their weight on Shabbat, right? Even though, we don't gain weight on Shabbat. I hate to tell you, you gain weight on Shabbat. What the rabbis are telling you was that the point is that you shouldn't hold back on Shabbat. You should treat Shabbat and save all of the good food for Shabbat. You can't eat the good food on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then eat it on Shabbat. Say, how come I'm getting to be a choshe? Because you're eating all the time. So, but on Shabbat itself, right? On Shabbat itself, you're supposed to eat. So when I come to Shabbat, right, and I'm eating, some people like to watch their weight on Shabbat. So let's say they make Netilat Yadayim, they say the Beracha al Netilat Yadayim, and their dad throws them the littlest, tiniest piece of challah, and now they eat it. Is that the right way or no? You have to make sure that beracha might have been levatala. You might have not eaten enough bread to warrant the beracha of al netilat yadayim. In order to say the beracha of al netilat yadayim, use the thumb. Everybody use your thumb, right? If you want to say the beracha of netilat yadayim, you need to make sure that you're eating enough bread. If you eat a small amount of bread, you're putting yourself in a safek. Safek means a doubt situation as to whether or not you even need to say the beracha. Now, we didn't read the halacha yet. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to all this is background because it could be confusing. I'm not sure if I confused you more if I answer the question. Eddie, are you more confused or you understand now? Don't be shy.
No, I know it now.
Okay. Anybody else confused? I saw Esty. Esty, how we doing? Good? Esty, I unmuted you and then you muted yourself. So say it again.
Hi, Esty.
It's regular like class again. She has no video and she can't talk. Esty, bro. Oh, here she is. Needing me to yell. Esty, are you with us? Okay, I can't hear her. Esty going once. Esty going twice. Get her now. Okay. Let's send her back. Here we go. Okay. Anybody else have a question on that introduction? Marilyn, you have a question? Is your hand raised or you just, no, you're good. Okay. Good. Yeah. Who is that?
Wait, so basically the introduction was just explaining how much kazites were and everything.
You missed that, or you want me to go over that?
I'm just trying to figure out the summed up part of the entire introduction.
The summed up part of the entire
introduction. Because I got the entire kazai part. I got most of it. I just want to can you sum it up?
I will sum it up one more time, Jacob. You ready? The summary is a kazayit is 27 grams. A besah is by Julie Bukai. I see her. She's already mouthing the besah. We got her. We turned her. Right? Besah is double a kizayit. 2 kizetot is an egg. And I didn't teach you yet which measurement is which, but one of the measurements you're going to have to make sure to always hit. Because if you don't eat that amount, you don't need Netilat Yadayim with the beracha. That's basically the whole agenda. That's the whole halakha. So you need to make sure that you're eating enough bread in order to make the beracha for Netilah. Okay? And then Celia Fariwa in the questions, you asked a very good question. Do you still say Birkat Hamazon? So that answer would be no. If all I do is my dad sends me a little piece of bread this big, and that's all the bread that I ate for the entire meal, I don't say Birkat Hamazon. Because you have to at least eat a kizayit. Okay? The magic number is going to be a kizayit in this one. But there are going to be changes in between kizayit and besah. Jacob, are we good?
Yeah. Also, how do you know how much a kazayit is when you're eating the bread?
Great question. You're gonna have to. Usually, we base it on a pita bread. Half a pita is a kazayit. A whole pita is a besah.
Okay, well, let's say you're eating bread on Friday night.
So I'm going to say a big chunky fistful is going to be in between enough, is going to be enough for a kazayit. Jacob, are we good? You disappeared.
Yeah.
Are you a bread eater on Shabbat, Jacob? Do you like dig the tunnel to just get the white
Nah,
tunnel?
that's a choice.
How many of you? How many of you guys are tunnel diggers? Who's a tunnel digger? There you go, digging the tunnel. All right, tunnel diggers of bread. Here we go.
What?
Okay, yeah, Mark, what do you got?
Let's say you eat like you say Netilat Yadayim, but you don't eat 27 grams yet. You
Right.
you eat less, but then later on during the meal you do eat it.
That's fine, as long as you didn't say Birkat Hamazon and end the meal, it still counts.
Okay.
So some people like to save their challah for the end, like they take it and, or let's say like your mom was like off her game, like she didn't make the stuff you like Mom, what's going on? No kiftes, no hamid, no chicken. She was like a big bootleg, and now all of a sudden you're like, all right, now you're still hungry. All right, Joyce, somebody's pulling your shirt. I don't know who that is, but tell them to stop. All right, there you go. But, right, Mark? So then let's say you're going to eat everything at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still legal as long as you didn't say Birkat Hamazon.
Yeah.
Okay, I see two more questions. Eddie San, you have a question? Eddie, you have a question? Another question? Because I saw...
Yeah, so if you eat less than a kazayit, you don't need to say Birkat Hamazon?
Yeah. But you're not supposed to do that. You don't say Birkat Hamazon, but you're not supposed to put yourself in that doubt situation. You're supposed to eat enough, meaning on Shabbat, let's take Shabbat for a second. On Shabbat, you have to eat a kazayit. You have to have bread. You have to eat enough for a meal. On a regular day, you don't have to, but we try to make sure that we don't wash your hands to not eat a kazayit, to not say Birkat Hamazon. The whole thing is you want to connect all three. You want to wash your hands to eat a kazayit, say Birkat Hamazon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Marilyn. Last question, and then we'll actually have to read the halakha. This is a difficult one, so we're taking time on it. But again, it's very important. Marilyn, what do you got?
So I missed like Aleph. I want to know what pet means. I was just reading it myself.
Pat. Pat means bread.
Okay. Oh, like okay, fine. Got it.
Right? Don't smoke it. All right, let's keep going. Okay? Good. All right. Now I'm going to read the halakha inside. Everybody hold on to your
I have a
yam.
question.
Ready?
Okay,
Wait,
so
Jacob, Eli, bro, I'm trying to get moving. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, go. What do you got?
people have let's say your dad's throwing out like pieces of bread, like his hand size of a kazai, but
Yeah.
your hand is smaller.
Right. It's just a general. You're right. I'm not giving you a very good answer for what exactly is a kazayit. If you want to take an experiment and see, I don't know how big your hands are, whatever it is, take maybe leftover challah from one of the weeks and then take it, put it on a little scale. I don't know if you have one of those at home, and you can.
Yeah, it's not a matter of size. It's a matter if some challah is more dense than others. It's
Correct.
It matters about the weight.
Honey is right. It goes by the volume. But
I'm supposed to weigh my bread on Shabbat now before I eat it?
no, you don't have to. That's why I'm trying to give you something with your eyes that you could. A nice fistful of your hand should be enough for a kazayit. I'll give you that head. It should be enough, Jacob.
Okay.
Is that good? You good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. All right. I'm going to read the halakha now because it's almost 9:15. We already did 40 minutes, guys. That didn't feel like 40 minutes. So there you go. 5 more minutes, and then you guys can go. Let's go to the share screen again. Please give me a thumbs up if you guys can see the screen when it comes up. Give me a thumbs up, virtual thumbs up. Good. Okay, so we are here. We are up to 4. I'm going to read it and go slow. Thank you for the arrow. I appreciate that. Ha'ochel pachot mikezayit pat. If a person eats, what's pachot mean? Less than a kezayit of bread. A person ate less than a kezayit of bread. Me'ikar hadin, from the letter of the law, eno tzarich litol et yadav. from the strict letter of the law, you don't need to make Netilat Yadayim. So already category 1. If I know for a fact that I am going to eat less than a kezayit of bread, I do not need to make Netilat Yadayim. So number 1 is less than a kezayit, and I'm going to put this in the chat so nobody can go crazy. Ready? Case 1, right? Less than kezayit. So what is it? No netilah from the halakha. Okay? Number 1, if I eat less than a kezayit, there's no netilah from the halakha. Let's go back in with the screen share. However, ורק אם בדעתו לאכול שיעור כזית צריך ליטול את ידיו. Only if a person has in their mind already, I'm going to eat a kezayit, then they have to wash their hands. So case number 2, going to eat a kezayit. So this is eat a kezayit. You see the difference between number 1, right? Number 1 is less than a kezayit. If I eat a kezayit, you need netilah, right, from the halakha. That's case number 2 from eating a kezayit. All right? Going back. Now, let's see. Well, what happens? Aval lo yevarech al netilah zo. Oh. So now what it means is that in this case, what do the rabbis want to tell you? And this goes to number 2, right? Because we said, but no beracha. So under number 1, less than a kezayit, you don't need to wash your hands at all. Number 2, if you're eating exactly a kezayit, you need to do netilah, but do I say a beracha? Everybody shake your heads. No. Only if I'm eating what? More than a kezayit. Now, I don't have to eat a betzah, but when I eat the betzah, that's the right amount to eat for Birkat HaMazon from the Torah. So let's now check it out inside the source. Again, going back. Oh, the people who didn't come to this class, they're gonna get rocked on the test on this. Okay. Aval verak im b'dato le'echol pat shiur kabetzah. Only if a person has in their mind to eat the shiur of a kabetzah, 54 grams according to Rabbi Tawil, 56 grams in Yalkut Yosef, I'll accept either one. That's when you make netilah with a beracha. So category number 3, eating and everybody say it with me now. How do you pronounce it? Besa.
Besa.
Besa. There you go. Everyone's into it already, right? So eating a besa, then you need netilah with a beracha. With a beracha. Those are the 3 categories. Okay, so you have less than a kezayit, exactly a kezayit, and then more than a kezayit up to a besa. Really, we want to say that category 2 encompasses everything from 27 grams to 54, or to 53 and a half. Bottom line is, when you wash your hands, make sure you have a meal. Make sure you eat enough bread. So most of the time you're okay with this, right? Let's say a bagel from, like, how many of you guys like Hot Bagel Bakery bagels? Nice, yeah. So how many grams do you think a Hot Bagel Bakery bagel is?
More than a betzah?
It is more than a besa, Carol. Yes, it is. It's about 95 grams. So where's Jacob? Jacob was here.
But if it's an egg bagel...
if it's an egg bagel, then it's mezonot. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if it's a regular bagel, that's hamotzi. There are only 2 bagels that are mezonot that are the popular ones. What are they? Egg bagel and?
Raisin?
Cinnamon raisin. Exactly, Ronnie. If you have a cinnamon raisin bagel or an egg bagel, you're saying mezonot. Okay. Okay. Let's just go back to the screen share.
Rabbi.
Yeah, Mark. What do you got?
So if you eat over 27, then like anything over, if you eat 28, then
You need Netilat Yadayim,
with a beracha.
and we encourage, really, technically, what the halacha is, you'd know beracha, but if it's over 28, we're going to assume 27, 28, whatever, we're going to assume that you need a beracha. Yes.
Yeah, so anything over.
Anything over.
So you
Right.
said my hand's a kazait, right? So then how would you be? So if my hands is about exactly like kazait, how would you know if you're eating more than a kazait? Am I supposed to go taking my other hand also?
Yeah, just take a little bit more than that.
Okay.
What you could do, Jacob, the reason why it's very good, and you're asking a very good question, and there are books written about your question. The best thing to do is anything that you have in your house nowadays is very easy. You can look on the back and look at the serving size for grams. Okay, like I'm just gonna go. Like if you went to, let's see, Oreo cookie serving size, right? So I go to Oreo cookie serving size and I look on the back and I see that the serving size of a few cookies, right? Let's just look. Oh, where is it? All right, this one's not showing me exactly, but it'll tell you the serving size. It tells you exactly the grams in the serving size. That's why we picked grams, because that's exactly how they do it. Okay, ready? Who can guess how many grams 3 Oreo cookies are? I found it.
They're like 30 something, no?
Excellent. Very good, Ronnie. Definitely cheating. 34 grams. Okay, so 3 cookies. So where's Jacob? Jacob,
Yeah.
3 Oreos are more than a kazayit. Does that make sense to you or no?
Yeah.
If I put 3 Oreos in my hand, it would take up the space of my hand. You understand?
Yeah. Well,
Well-
so that's also depending on how small your hand is. Obviously.
It definitely does. That's why I'm saying generally speaking, our hands are pretty much within an inch or 2 difference. But generally speaking, it's a good gauge. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, Prayal, you look like you're crying. What's going on? You okay? Okay, she's good. Ezra Cohen has a question. What do you got?
Is it? I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Is it when you eat more than a betzah?
So that was Mark's question. It looks like at a betzah, that's the right amount to eat. At a betzah. What about in between a kazayit and a betzah? Our custom is once you're over a kazayit, you have to wash your hands with a blessing.
Okay, and when you eat less than a kazai, shouldn't you say Netilat Yadayim also, since it's also for cleaning purposes?
So you should do Netilat Yadayim, but don't say a beracha. So do the water, because that gets your hand clean no matter what, right? But don't do the blessing.
But you said that's what you do when you eat exactly kazai.
Correct. That's what you say. Oh, you're saying what if it's less than a kazayit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right, less than a kazayit because it's considered so small that you're not going to be eating for a long time. I guess that was their logic. It's not considered a meal. The rabbis only made you, the real reason is because the rabbis only made you wash your hands when you were going to a meal, and their definition was a kazayit of bread. Like, you could ask the same question, Ezra, about shahakol, right? If I'm having rice, not rice is a bad example. Let's say I'm having chicken. I want my hands to be clean for chicken also, right? But chicken shakol. So the rabbis, they only said we only made a gezerah, an obligation, when it's a meal. So the rabbis had to give a set measurement. So yes, you're right. Some things will fall outside of that purview of the measurement, but and yes, ideally we want your hands to be clean always, but we're not forcing you to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good.
Okay, I got a question. What if you're going into Netilat Yadayim?
Say it again.
Into Netilat Yadayim thinking that you're going to eat a kazait, but you don't end up eating a kazait.
Excellent, great question. You're right on it. If you don't, then nothing's wrong. No foul. Because as long as when you washing, you had in mind to, I don't know, let's say you start eating it and you're like, wow, it doesn't feel, I don't feel good, right? Or the food's not so good, right? So you're not to blame. You didn't make a bracha for no reason.
What if you go in, like the other way, also around? What if you
And
go
the
in
opposite way, so let's say I went in and I only ate one bagel. Then I turn around and I eat 4 bagels because I'm a beast, right? I was so hungry. So then if you ate more than a certain amount, you will also say Birkat Hamazon in that
No,
case.
I'm saying, let's say you go in thinking, okay, I'm not going to eat a kazait, and you didn't say the beracha, obviously, but you did end up eating a kazait.
So then you would stop right before and you would say, I better get up and wash my hands. So you'd have to wash your hands in the middle.
Okay, yeah, but what if you're eating in small increments, obviously? So that means you don't know when
you gotta keep track of it. You gotta keep track of it. You can't just keep eating. You have to, meaning at some point, if you said, I'm not gonna have a kizayit, and then all of a sudden you start eating the whole bagel, you have to get up and wash your hands. At some point. Whenever you decided in your mind that you're gonna do it. Or, like you said, I never decided, but I was eating piece by piece. Once you recognize, okay, I had 10 pieces already, I'm definitely past kizayit, I'm going to go wash my hands. So either way.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that was halacha he. Wait, sorry, let me just check.
Daled.
Daled, sorry. That was halacha daled. And, right, we're going to, you guys can still see the screen? No, 1 second. You guys see the PDF? Yes, you can, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to stop at this halacha.